yeah, we should do that. Then months went by. We still in our mind, we talking about it, but then we were at a meeting and we heard another brother getting accolades from Minister Farrakhan about how the minister had gone to his business and saw how he was operating, and it was a nice building, and the brother had things in place where he could operate without being there. And we was like, it was funny. We were all in the meeting. We were sitting in different parts of the building. We looked at each other. Like
see that idea?
Right. And gave each other the affirmation. 2 weeks later.
The thought was fed. So
now we're in idea phase.
Right.
And we gave each other that confirming look like, it's done.
Right.
Be and it is.
Right.
So 2 weeks later, we got back together, and we knew how much it was going to cost us to get started, and we each came to the table with that amount of money, and the rest is history, as they say. We opened up, pooling our resources though, buying furniture. We moved into the spot, and because we are denied or not qualified a lot of times for certain capital accesses, then you have to do what you have to do. Legally, morally, and ethically.
Right.
I have to say that.
You have to say that.
I've never been the one, not to justify, but I've never felt comfortable going the other route. I like my freedom. I love freedom. I can't see jeopardizing doing something illegal and then, you reap the repercussions one way or the other. I never took that route. So it's always, if I have to go and get another job or do something legally, morally, ethically to raise some capital, then I'll do that, but it's going toward that venture. So each one of us did that, and we opened up the Self-Improvement Learning Center.
Excellent.
And use it as a vehicle to be able to help others to bring forth or to birth their ideas. But it started with a thought. And we pooled our resources. And when we find out each person has a different personality, that helps as well.
That was exact.
Yes.
That must be
telepathy. I read your thoughts.
I definitely was going there.
Yes.
We have to talk about because it's easy to get together with friends of like mind. And we speak about like mind. And when you think about like-minded, okay, I like brown, she likes brown. I like orange, she likes orange. We like flowers, we all like flowers. Okay, that's like mind. We want to do business together. It's also like mind. I'm more detail oriented.
Right.
Well, I'm the socialite.
Right.
So speak to that idea of an individual who has a concept and in the developmental stages, in the fetal stages or embryo stages of development of this idea, and wanting to bring it into fruition and looking to pool resources. How should they go about getting the resources that they need? How do they identify the individuals that would work best as business partners, not so much, social friends?
Gotcha, right. That's an excellent question. And it's one that we all have to work through.
Okay.
I used the term a few minutes ago that I think we all heard a while back, the vetting. That's basically getting information on people. It wasn't information, it's seeing if we can coexist in a particular space at a particular time. And I like how you just qualified that. Do we have to be social and all, like be best buddies? Not necessarily. It can be, but that's not necessarily the qualifier that it has to be. To back it up though, back up a little bit. I do a workshop entitled How to Become a Dynamic Communicator. And in that workshop, I deal with 4 personality styles. And you just mentioned there's a socializer, there's a relator, there's the thinker, and there's the director. Socializer is just that the person who likes to the center of the life of the party. The relator is the person that cares about the feelings of others. The analyzer is that person that's going to sit down and cross every I, dot every I, cross every T before they do anything. And the director is the one that's going to say, look, we need to do da 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 da.
And we need to do it now.
Do it now. It's going to be ugly. It doesn't have to be the prettiest. And and we've had this conversation before, we need all of those people around us. In our partnership with the Self-Improvement Learning Center, we have all of those elements involved. And we learn, yes, we're going to get rubbed the wrong way, or we're going to feel uncomfortable because that's not how I would do it. I don't do it like that.
I want to keep partying. I want the music playing.
Right. Come on, show more enthusiasm, that kind of thing. But that's not necessarily that person's makeup. It doesn't make them a bad person. It doesn't make them invaluable to what you're doing.
Right.
I need somebody that's a director to say, look, brothers, we got to do da-da-da-da-da. Come on, let's do it.
That's right.
I need that person like, well, we'll make sure no one's feelings get trampled on, get violated. Then we need that person who's going to go out and gather up the masses and be that social, that entertainer type person out to attract certain people to the entity.
Set up the ambiance.
Oh, absolutely. Set
Make sure
the
it's
tone.
warm and
Absolutely,
cozy, right?
absolutely. I just need a chair.
Right.
Pictures. Okay, all right. Yes. So it's understanding that all of us are valuable. We have to ask ourselves the question: can I, or will I? Not can, but will I?
Right.
What's the word I always use? Adjust my personality or my comfortable behavior style to connect effectively with that other person or those other people so that we can get to the desired goal.
Excellent.
That's nothing. We always have to have that desired goal in mind. Your business, what you're going to start. You want to start a speaking business. That's your desired goal.
Right.
And so we're going to run into people with various personality styles. Like what I just mentioned, there are degrees of each one. So understanding that and knowing that from the offset, which we should know. We know. All of us, I think probably 90% of the people that will be watching this program are adults. We've all been in relationships that didn't quite work out. Those that did work out, but we had to learn how to adjust certain things to connect more effectively with that other person. Same way. And we do it every day on the job.
Excellent.
I'm not going to quit a job just because I don't like my coworker.
Come on now.
So I have to learn how to get along with her or get along with him. Whatever that getting along is. Avoid them, only deal with them when necessary, things like that. So once we understand that and think about that going into business, so we can pool our resources, because that other person has something that I need, I have something that they need, so we come together, then just like those geese, we can get farther along in this process than if I tried to fly by myself. Yes.
Excellent. I thank you for sharing that.
Oh,
because
thank
that
you.
spells it out, and I think that it makes it plain, and I have a greater understanding of how to actually go about picking or choosing the mates in my business. There's another thing that jumps out at me. You speak about having a desired goal and being fixed on that goal. We have so many things pulling at us. I have the desire to start, a publishing company, and I want to be able to write a book, and I want to write many books, and I want to be able to travel the world and talk about the information that I have in the book. So how do I keep myself focused on that goal? And so you mentioned in your talk, as you were speaking, you mentioned something that just jumped out, coach, trainer.
Yes.
How does that fit in to a person's ability to stay focused on their goals?
And I'm going to be totally biased when I say this, because it's what I do.
Right.
But we all need that someone in our life who is going to nag us, who's going to be a thorn in our side for the better.
Right.
And I use those words for a particular effect. That person who's a thorn in your side, like I mentioned to you, one of my
clients,
mastermind group members, she'll sit back and she'll laugh. Like, oh, no. Or if I talk to her, no, I didn't do anything. But what that does, though, it it reinforces in her, okay, I need to do something. Because Jahi, every time I talk to him, he's going to ask me about this.
Right.
So let me go ahead and get this out the way and do it. But what happens? A month later, 2 months later, that thing is now happening. I think I did the same thing with you.
You did.
I don't have time.
I had to mention the whole coaching and training
Right.
aspect, because without that, you speak about, and I mentioned, how I work with youth, and I'm constantly inspiring and motivating and teaching on how to develop your passion and how to identify your passion and how to go about bringing your passion into the exercises of your life to produce this thing that you are to produce. And sometimes you don't know. As was mentioned, I don't know by you or Brother Patrick, who spoke about not really knowing what the end result was going to be, but walking in that path and being obedient to the Creator, which is the first thing. You have that first step is to be obedient, and identifying who you are and what you're about. So as you go about doing that, there's other things that's coming in. Okay, well, it's deterring you over here, and next thing you know, wait a minute, my goal was supposed to be targeted 2 months ago, or now it's a year ago, or it's 10 years ago. But these things took you off your path. So knowing that you need a coach and a trainer to help keep you marking that mark, to keep you on point, to meet that target date, which is another part of pooling the resources.
Because life will happen.
Life will happen.
Life will happen. But if we have that person or people, coach, accountability partner, whatever term we want to give it, but that person who's going to be committed to making sure that they're going to be that thorn in my side. I have a brother, he calls me up, okay, Jahi, you told me 2 months ago you could do X, Y, Z. What have you done to it? Oh, man. Well, see, what had happened was, he don't want to hear that. Oh, you ain't trying to do nothing. You just da-da-da-da-da. What you waiting on, Jesus to come back?
I thought he was here.
Right. Like, okay, I got you. And we know it's something because it's the idea that the Creator has put in us. We know it's a valuable idea. We know I want to do it. So why haven't I done it? Now I can't make up any excuses. So what do I do? Okay, I get off the phone with them and I start putting those things in action. And then guess what? Now things are coming together when I focus. So what you talk about, life will happen, but that coach, that accountability partner, that person in our lives that help us stay focused, it actually helped us to bring into fruition that idea. And what I've noticed is that things come about quicker. So I share this with the audience. Sharien Muhammad called me sometime in December with an idea. So, okay, I want to do X, Y, Z.
It was actually November.
It was late November. Because late November, but by mid-December, we put it into play and did the program end of December, end of the year, 2012. Basically 3 weeks of planning, and it was an overwhelming success. But all energies were focused on that thing, and the entities came together that even we did not expect. From that idea, the idea was, okay, we want to do this on a national level.
Excellent.
Did it locally, put forth the effort, put the idea out on the national level, and now we're going to do it in a couple of days in front of a national audience. That particular program, how to do for self, not by yourself.
Excellent.
But going back to your point about pooling your resources, it wasn't just one person's effort trying to do it. It was a collective of effort, and now it's coming to fruition.
You had your lawyer, you had your accountant,
the restaurateur, the publisher,
your visionary, so you had your historian, and it's
hip hop entertainer,
icon, absolutely. And so we need that. I know as I study on how to do business and what gave birth to this whole project of giving birth to a business is the desire
Yes.
to want to do business myself.
Yes.
And want to learn
Desire
about
feeds the
business.
will.
Desire feeds the will. And wanting to learn about business and learning how I learn best. I learn best by studying and then teaching.
Gotcha.
And so I knew that I had to study something, and I'm degreed upon
Right.
degrees. I've
I've
been
been
to
about
school.
12
I've been to
degrees.
school. I've been to school. In fact, I go back in the summer to finish up a program, and I'm actually excited about going back this time because I have a whole nother breadth of idea of what it is that I'm doing. But I say that to say that when you're going into this process of doing something and identifying who you are and what you're about, which is the first thing that the lesson teaches us in the economic blueprint, is that first you must know thyself.
Right.
You know, we must know ourselves and then know our people. And then know how to work with our people to accomplish the above said.
Right.
So as we go about doing that, you know, hey, I need a target date.
That's it.
And how did I learn that?
That's it.
I learned that from going through schools and having deadlines and seeing how I operate under the pressure of a deadline versus under the pressure of it's an open-ended day.
Whenever. And it
Whenever,
never happens.
I'm gonna do it when? Oh, someday.
Right.
That someday that never comes.
In my action guide, how to make it happen in 90 days, that's one of the questions. That's one of the scenarios that those that are part of the mastermind group have to answer. One of the questions is, will you commit to making it happen? Then the other one is, when will you commit to making it happen? Then we must take action. So, good example, what I just talked about with the first How to Do for Self, Not By Yourself program. We set a date. So, okay, we're going to do this December 30th, 2012. It was December 14th, 2012 when we made the commitment.
Right.
So what does that do? Okay, well, we got to put some stuff into place.
Right.
So I started making phone calls, you secured the location, and then we started putting stuff out. And things do not have to be perfect either starting out.
Right.
It's been my experience that a lot of times we may use that as an excuse. The concept of perfection, meaning, well, I don't have this yet, I don't have that yet. Understood. But if we wait till we got that, it may not ever happen. We have to work toward that. And then, I must say this. I heard Minister Muhammad teach on this 12, 13 years ago. It's called the law of commitment. When you and I make a complete decision, the people and the situations necessary to bring that decision into fruition begin to come into our lives.
Beautiful.
So yeah, it's not perfect starting out. Just like the baby, we talk about giving birth to your business. It's not going to be perfect from the conception stage. But over time, that commitment is made, now things begin to form. So what happens is when you and I make that complete decision, then now the people and the situations start coming to us because we attract it.
Excellent.
My friend Chica Kua taught me that action creates attraction. So that goes along with the law of commitment. Now that I'm taking some action, because I made the complete decision. And now let me add to that. She says, you may say, well, I made a decision one time and it didn't come about. She says, no, you didn't. No, I didn't. We thought we did, but we entertained doubt.
Excellent.
Entertained doubt. Not that we won't have doubt, but we should not entertain the doubt. What do you do when you entertain someone?
You sit
Come on
there
in, have a
spend
seat. Can I get you
hours
something
and
to drink?
days on it.
You want something to eat? You focus. You feed
The doubt.
that doubt.
Which is where the trainer and the coach comes into play, because when the fear and the doubt, as the messenger teaches us, is our biggest enemy. Right. The biggest enemy is going to definitely rear its head. It's going to be there.
It's doing its job.
Fear and ignorance is there.
It's doing its job.
So you have the fear, you have the ignorance, right? And the fear paralyzes, and of course
Right.
the ignorance just send you bouncing off the wrong
Right,
walls,
right.
right? So we know when we have that, the coach is gonna say that they looking from a different strategic
That's
viewpoint.
right, looking from a different viewpoint,
A different
absolutely.
strategic viewpoint to say, oh no, this is the play.
Right,
You know, because you in the game.
right,
So, you know,
right.
the coach is outside the game.
They
The
can
trainer is
see,
saying, now you
uh-huh.
need to do some more knee bends, you know,
Right,
you know,
right.
your leg muscles is not
Right.
quite as strong. You need to read some more books on this, study this
Absolutely.
concept.
You need to go to this workshop, you need to go to this seminar.
Right, this is your
You need
trainer.
to check out what this person is saying.
Exactly,
Mhm, absolutely.
exactly.
Yes.
So, you know, I'm just humbled, and I would like to know, do we have enough time to interview our guest who is here with 25 years of experience in the cleaning business? Do we have little time to interview?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, awesome. I would love to have that opportunity. I appreciate you coming on.
Well, again, I want
the
to thank
Awareness
you,
Now show.
because I know you are a great example.
Praise
And I
God.
talk about you to some of my other coaching clients and mastermind group members, because I will say this, I was that thorn in your side for a while.
Mhm.
And then one day it just clicked.
Mhm.
I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. You started like, okay, Jahi, you're not on the strategy session call. Where you at?
Mhm.
It's 6:04. We're supposed to meet at 6. Oh, okay. So from that, and then you have ideas.
Mhm.
Not just ideas, you have things that you want to do. So you say, okay, let's do this by X date. Bam, let's do this. So that causes motion. So I commend you for that, because that energy keep all of us on point, on our toes. So yeah, definitely I want those who are listening to this program to check out more awareness now, because I said I think you epitomize that ability or that will to bring that thing into fruition, an idea.
What is
your
that?
it.
What is that about Willa?
The 9 malignant symptoms of unpropitious Willa. Yes, that's my flagship presentation.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, two of the symptoms you talked about already. Fear is one of them, which leads to procrastination, which is the part of the ignorance part. Well, I can't do that because I don't know how to do that.
Right.
Okay, we're taught by the master teacher, the teacher, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, that everything that we want to know is written somewhere. Whatever it is we want to know, all thing we got to do is put that thought out there, and guess what? Bam, it's going to jump off the shelf at
So
you.
I stand to say, because I've heard said that all we have to do is put it in a book, and black people won't know nothing about it because they don't read. But I'm black.
That's saying.
I read and I write.
That's what they call that. So that's a partial truth. Some black people don't read, but
right.
there's a lot of us.
That read.
There's a lot of us that read. We go in. As a matter of fact, I have a circle around me. That's all they do is read.
Yes.
They always walk around with big stacks of books and magazines and newspapers, whatever it is. So if I need to know something, they say, oh yeah, I read that in Black Enterprise, December 2012 issue, da-da-da-da-da. Oh, I saw that in the book. And these brothers, they read, and sisters, they read thick books too. Like, man, you read that whole book? You know, books that be an inch and a half thick. So, and they read lots of them a year.
And since
So,
I'm a reflection of my sister, if you read it, I've read it.
Right, absolutely.
So tell me about that.
Right, absolutely.
And let me tell you about what I read, and we pull our resources in
Absolutely,
that.
yeah. And I think, and I'm glad you mentioned that as we close out this section, is that we began to change that paradigm. Because we all know too many people that don't fit that description.
Right.
So if we know them, it's not our obligation to keep talking about what the other people say, what our enemies have said we don't do.
Right.
Now that came out when they wouldn't allow us to read.
And they instilled the fear.
They instilled the fear. But what was going on?
Of the read.
But what was going on? You still had those that were in the dark,
Yes.
cracking open their
Yes.
eyes.
In the barn.
Their eyes went bad.
Sitting behind the horse.
Right, to read. Because it was innate in them. We are the original book writers.
That's right.
So that's a misnomer that we're changing, we're cutting out. From this day forward,
Yeah.
that line would never, it is a fallacy. We know that we're declaring that deed.
Absolutely.
Again, thank you so much.
Yes,
I
sir.
hope I've been of some assistance to
absolutely.
your audience.
I've learned so much from you, and I appreciate you bringing me on as one of your clients or part member of your mastermind group.
I'm honored.
And yes, sir.
Keep me on my toes. I really have to work. Really have to work. If anyone needs to
Yes,
reach
sir.
me, they can call me at 404
Excellent.
438 3156. 404 438 3156.
Excellent.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
Yes, sir. May Allah
Peace.
bless you. Peace.
Thank you.
And if we can bring on our next guest, would you like to share